If you're thinking of moving to Lethbridge, Alberta, you're probably wondering what the cost of living is like here in Lethbridge. From housing to rent to groceries and utilities. And in this video, I'm going to break down everything that you need to know so you can plan your move with confidence, or maybe at least just provide you with some information on what it costs to live in one of the most affordable cities in Canada. Plus, I'll share how Lethbridge is changing as its population grows faster than the housing supply, which is putting some pressure on affordability. So let's get into it. So let's start with the biggest expense and what's probably the most important for people. And of course, that's housing. So in Lethbridge, you're going to find a variety of options from cozy apartments to single family houses. As of now, the average home price is right around $380,000 to $400,000 for a detached house in a nicer neighborhood. Now, if you're looking in Copperwood or Black Wolf in one of those newer communities, you're going to be paying closer to $420,000 to $450,000 for a newer home that's roughly 5 years old with a double attached garage. However, for a brand new build, though, that entry level is going to jump up to right around $460,000. So if you're looking for a starter home or a townhouse that's a bit on the newer side, the one that's going to be move-in ready with not a lot of work or renovations needed, typically that range is going to be from about $350,000 and up. Now, of course, if you have a bit of a bigger budget, you're going to be able to get a lot more of your money out here in Lethbridge compared to places like BC and Ontario, and now even Calgary. For example, in the $700,000 to $800,000 range, you're going to be looking at more of about a 2,000 square foot home or more with an attached garage and maybe even a triple car garage. And you're likely going to be on a nice lot with a view or a walkout basement. Whereas in other big cities, you're still going to be looking at an apartment or a condo in this price range. And in Calgary, you can still find a detached home in that $700,000 to $800,000 range, I'm sure, but they're not going to be as new or as big or in as a desirable area. For renters, on the other hand, a one-bedroom apartment averages about $1,252 per month, while a three-bedroom rental is going to set you back probably about $1,700 per month. Now, over the past 3 years, these prices have gone up significantly, and they're up about 5% year over year. Now, in the rental market, there has been very low supply, which could actually make it harder to find a rental than actually buy a home here. So for your renters out there, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be tough. But it's also been a very good market for investors on the other hand. So transportation costs in Lethbridge are relatively affordable compared to other big cities, but our gas prices here are about $1.39 per liter as of filming this video. But we have seen a range from all the way down to $1.10 all the way up to like $1.60 at the peak of things. Here in Lethbridge, we do have a public transit system that can get you where you need to go for about $77 per month for an adult monthly pass. But the bus network just isn't as extensive as you're going to find in larger cities, and there's definitely no train here. So owning a car is definitely going to be more convenient. However, when it comes to more affordable types of transportation, cycling and walking are readily available, and there's some pretty good routes around Lethbridge. So if you're downtown and close to the core or close to the university, Lethbridge is quite walkable, and there is a lot of bike paths for getting around without a vehicle. However, in general, Lethbridge is very spread out. So if you don't live downtown or you don't live too close to work, again, you're likely going to be better off driving, especially if you live on the west side and have to go to the north or the south for work, and you have to get across that bridge. And this is especially true in the winter because riding a bike down that steep hill in the summer is crazy enough, let alone in winter conditions. Now, before we move on, if you've already made up your mind that Lethbridge is the place for you and you want to learn more, I do have over 200 videos on my channel, so you can keep binging. So be sure to subscribe or go check out my playlists. But down below is a link to sign up for auto email listings. Basically how this works is you type in your desired criteria and I'll send you a list of every available property within that criteria. And every time a new listing hits the market, you're going to get an email notification immediately so you never miss one. But now, let's get back to the video. Now, as much as I want to talk about groceries and the price of groceries in Lethbridge, honestly, it's not going to be too much different than any other area of Alberta. However, according to Numbeo, the Numbeo website I found, they recommended that the minimum amount for food per person in Lethbridge should be about $550 per month. I don't think anyone here actually wants to go through each of those items. Like, you don't want me to sit here and go through each of those line items because that's going to get pretty boring. So let's just keep moving. Okay, so let's talk about the essentials of staying connected and just keeping the lights on. So for phone and internet, on average, just expect to pay between $60 and $120 per month for high-speed internet and about $60 to $80 per month for a mobile phone plan with decent data. And for utilities in Lethbridge, water and garbage are actually bundled together through the city, and that's going to be $115 per month. And for gas and electricity, you can expect to spend between $200 and $400 per month. Now, obviously, this depends on the size of your home, how many people are living there, and how often you're actually at home, etc. So prices can kind of vary here. But for me and my wife, for example, we both work from home, so I'm literally here like all day. We have a 1,600 square foot home, and we also have a hot tub outside, so our utilities are roughly between $300 and $400 per month for both power and electricity combined. So the Lethbridge job market here is pretty diverse and growing pretty steadily. The major employers in Lethbridge are things like agriculture and food processing. There's healthcare, there's education, and there's retail. Now, the University of Lethbridge and Lethbridge Polytechnic also contribute significantly to our local economy, bringing in a ton of students every year, as well as a ton of jobs. Now, although there are new food processing plants and the university is expanding and the college is expanding, there are a lot of new opportunities in Lethbridge. However, wages here can sometimes lag behind those larger cities in Alberta. And if you compare it to like cities like Calgary, for example, has a lot of different types of jobs that are available there. So for example, Calgary has a ton of energy jobs like oil and gas, as well as lots of new tech startups moving to Calgary. And of course, if you're in oil and gas, you're in a big tech startup, the wages for those types of jobs are in really high demand and they pay a lot. Whereas Lethbridge is definitely more of a trades and a blue collar town, with most of those professional white collar jobs being tied to the university or the college. Now, for this reason of us being more based around the trades and more blue collar is probably another reason why our housing prices are also still very inexpensive. Now, Lethbridge's population is growing rapidly, and just last year we saw about 5,000 new people move to our city because, of course, it's so affordable. But with this growth also comes some challenges. For example, our housing market here is up over 10% from last year, and inventory is at a record low right now, which puts even more pressure on our housing market and keeps pushing our affordable pricing higher and higher. But thankfully, we've managed to get through this and are still very affordable. Now, the city is working on some new developments, but in my opinion, builders here are not building fast enough, and there really isn't a ton of competition here for builders. So in the short term, at least the short term, I think that our housing supply will remain pretty tight for years to come. So what's the real cost of living in Lethbridge? Well, Lethbridge is still wildly one of the more affordable cities located in Alberta and especially in Canada, and it's going to remain this way for a long time, I believe. However, the rising population and the housing demand are shaping up in this market and have been driving up prices like crazy. Not actually like crazy, it's just crazy for like us living here. If you're looking from, again, Vancouver or Toronto and our prices went up $20,000, you're probably like, oh, that's it, just $20,000. But to us, it's a big deal. But again, this is definitely faster and higher than we have almost seen in our history of our real estate market. Time will tell if our cost of living will slowly level out, if it'll get cheaper or more expensive. So if you guys are thinking about Lethbridge or want to learn more, all of my information is located down below in the description. Be sure to call, text, or email me literally anytime. And if you guys like this video and want to see more, there's a whole playlist right here. Or if you want to make sure you see every single one of my videos, just hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.